On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Vince McMahon is facing new legal demands as he intends to make a comeback to WWE. Triple H is underwhelmed by some of the talent that he has rehired, and Tony Khan says MJF can be difficult to work with. Folks, we're hitting your favorite wrestling move into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Former WWE Chairman Vince McMahon is facing new legal demands from two women who allege that he sexually assaulted them. The Wall Street Journal published an article on Tuesday revealing that McMahon's attorney received a demand letter from Rita Chatterton's lawyer on November 3rd asking for $11.75 million in damages. Chatterton, who was the first female referee in WWE history, publicly accused McMahon of raping her in the back of a limo in New York in 1986. Also in November, McMahon's attorney received an email from a lawyer from a former spa manager who says that McMahon assaulted her at a California resort in 2011. That incident had not been reported to the media until now. The letter from Chatterton's lawyer states that Chatterton has suffered years of ongoing depression, substance abuse, disordered eating, lost income, and overall a decreased quality of life following McMahon's alleged rape. Former wrestlers Greg Valentine and Mario Mancini told the Wall Street Journal that Chatterton disclosed the allegations to them after the alleged rape. While Mancini believes Chatterton, Valentine told the Wall Street Journal that he didn't believe her then or now, quote, because he didn't think she was attractive enough for Vince McMahon. McMahon's assault of the spa manager is claimed to have happened while WWE was in Southern California for an event. The Wall Street Journal reports that according to people familiar with the matter, the spa manager reported the alleged assault to the five-star resort she was working at. According to the Wall Street Journal, McMahon has told people that he refuses to pay settlements to Chatterton or the spa manager. The Wall Street Journal writes that New York Court recently opened a one-year window that allows victims to file sex abuse lawsuits based on decades-old claims. California also, quote, has a new law that allows alleged victims of sex abuse to file lawsuits that would otherwise be barred by the statute of limitations. Starting in January, victims will have a one-year window to file such claims. Despite his retirement, McMahon remains WWE's majority shareholder. In the Wall Street Journal story that was published today, it's noted that McMahon has told people that he, quote, intends to make a comeback to WWE. McMahon feels that he received, quote, bad advice from people close to him and thinks the allegations would have blown over if he didn't step down. There's way more to that article. You can head over to F4W Online to read the rest of it. Ay, man. He's going to come back, isn't he, though? He's going to come back. Since that one report has come out at the time of this recording yesterday, there have been like 5 other reports. People are, okay, so someone made a petition. Ric Flair says that he's entitled to come back. Every single person and their grandmother who currently works for WWE right now says that they don't want Vince to come back. And Vince said he's not paying the settlement. He says that he received bad advice. I mean, talk about tone deaf, man. Goodness gracious. I want to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right about this with every fiber of my being. You don't understand. I want to be wrong, but he's coming back. He's going to come back. He's going to push the door wide open and just saunter. Where's McMahon? He's going to McMahon walk straight in there and just going to sit down and no one's going to say anything. No one's going to do anything. Everyone is going to groan and moan and suck their teeth and all that. But I tell you right now, no one's going to do anything. Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan are the only 3, as far as I know, who I feel as though have the most amount of power to be like, no, you're not doing it. But even then, I feel like they're not going to do anything. I just feel it in my bones and my marrow, okay, in the genetic makeup that is my person. I just feel it that Vince McMahon is going to come back and no one is going to stop him. The fact that there are people in the world right now who live on the same planet as we do that are like, yeah, Vince should come back. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's not, he's gonna come back. I don't really know what else there is to say. I don't know what else you can say about a guy who is refusing to pay the settlement after he raped someone, okay? He's gonna come back. Next, we're gonna talk about Triple H and how he is underwhelmed by talent he rehired since taking over WWE Creative. The new WWE management made makeshift changes in their product in terms of improving television product storylines, better growth opportunities for prospects, and return of top superstars let go during the Vince McMahon era, such as Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and Karrion Kross. However, according to a report by Russ Votes on Twitter, some of those stars brought back during the rehiring wave, however, have underperformed since their return and have not matched up to Triple H's expectations. Untold a handful of talent brought back in the rehiring wave over the summer have underperformed and severely underwhelmed Triple H and others since returning to the company. You're the booker, right? You book how they talk, you book what happens in the storyline and you book how the matches go. So if you are underwhelmed about how Karrion Kross is doing or Braun Strowman is doing or anybody is doing, then I feel as though that as the booker, you need to obtain the ability to look inward and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong that is hindering their ability as a performer? Okay, so Braun Strowman, right? Since he's come back, he hasn't really been doing a whole lot. I mean, he was within a feud with Omos, but that wasn't really going anywhere. And then he had like a mini feud with Otis, and I mean, that didn't really go anywhere. So he's really just he's been around, right? But he hasn't necessarily been featured in anything prominent. It's really just been Braun Strowman, big man, he knocks people over. That's pretty much it. Karrion Kross, it sounds like he's about to start a program with Rey Mysterio. So I'm sure that'll be interesting. I feel like you can do something with I don't know, man. It's the same thing with Miro. Like, I feel like Miro is that type of person where you could do something with him. It just depends on what you do. And considering the fact that he what's the word? Well, he pretty much was like, no, I'm not doing that, to one of the storylines that they brought forth, to him. And it kind of like shows you that certain wrestlers, they can see when like a storyline that they get chosen for them isn't going to work out. And I don't know, maybe that's been going on with Braun Strowman, or maybe like Braun Strowman doesn't necessarily know what to do and they don't know what to do with Braun Strowman. I really don't know at the end of the day. That's the best way that I can sort of like, explain the whole process, I guess, because there's no way it's just one person. That doesn't make any sense, especially since everybody has been able to be like, oh, I can now come to him with my ideas and stuff like that. Not everyone's idea is going to be good, but Triple H's ideas aren't going to be good either. So finally, Tony Khan says MJF can be, quote, difficult off camera. Tony Khan was questioned if MJF was the appropriate choice in an interview for Today.com. The AEW owner responded that MJF can be difficult off camera. MJF, I think, is one of the most charismatic and intelligent pro wrestlers on the planet, and there are fans worldwide compelled by his actions and take notice every time he speaks. This is me 100% of the time, 365 days a year. It doesn't change. You can ask people in my industry, and people have, and then fans are like, oh, these other people are just keeping up the ruse. This is me. My own experience is dealing with them. I found it to be more difficult in some ways off camera, if that's even possible. It's kind of hard, right? Because, well, no. Okay, so I was going to say, oh, maybe he's just keeping up the kayfabe off camera. But, like, you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be doing that. So I feel like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because the thing about MJF's character is it's like, I don't know, like 60-40, or let's just say 60-40. 60-40 is kayfabe, 40% is actually real. So I would argue that MJF going around and being a bit of an asshole isn't entirely too far off from his actual MO. You know what I mean? So I feel as though that that's just who MJF actually is. I don't think that that is a character that MJF is portraying. I think that that is actually who MJF is choosing to be. That is who he truly is at the end of the day. And that's why I said it's mainly, it makes up a good portion of his character, but it's not actually who he is, because he is like a really decent person at the end of the day, if we're gonna be honest here. I mean, he's not an absolute, asshole, to be totally honest with you. So, I mean, again, difficult to work with, that can mean anything. What do we talk about? Vince is, okay, I don't want him to come back. I need to reiterate this. I don't want him to come back. I don't want Vince to come back. But he's coming back, ain't he? He's coming back, though, ain't he? He's coming back. It's only a matter of time. You have to listen to me. Vince is coming back, okay? He is going to make sure that he is back in the seat. Nobody wants him back. I don't want him back. Everybody and the grandmother doesn't want him back. But I'll tell you right now, the fact that Vince is not paying the settlement and he is willing to scream into the heavens that people gave him bad advice, that tells you everything that you need to know. He's coming back. Like the Mega Titan or the Colossal Titan from Attack on Titan and everything. That's him. He is going to kick the wall down and everyone's going to run around screaming and they're not going to know what to do and no one's going to be able to stop him, okay? Not even Eren Yeager when he does the thing where he bites like the weird part of his thumb. He's coming back. I'm telling you, the end is nigh. Grab your women and children. We're all doomed. We're doomed, I tell you. Anyway, underwhelming. Man, Triple H, that's got to be mostly your fault, though, ain't it? I mean, it's got to be mostly your fault. You can't sit here and say, I'm giving everybody all this sort of stuff, and they're still not. Okay, but then that means that what you need to do is you need to go, hey, that doesn't work. Let's try this. Like, as the head booker, by the way, you should be able to go into the writing room and be like, hey, guys, that didn't really work out, so let's try this with this guy, and if that doesn't work, and okay, well, let's try something out of the box or something. I don't know, maybe bring them in in and go, hey, we're doing a lot of stuff that it isn't, and it, it's not working out. Do you have any idea? Like, I don't know, man. Again, two-way street. It can't all be Triple H's fault, but it can't also all be the wrestler's fault. So, and Tony Khan says MJF is difficult off camera. That makes sense. He is the salt of the earth, so I can understand where he's coming from. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.